Hello, friends, and welcome to Star Tears. Today, we honor the lives of 5 extraordinary individuals who passed away on November 8, 2025. Every life has a story. Every story carries influence. In this episode, we will explore the journeys and achievements of these 5 remarkable people, those who inspired generations and left lasting legacies. Let's begin with the first of these unforgettable lives. Vladimir Alexandrovich Simonov, Russian actor, was born on June 7, 1957. In the city of Oktyabrsk, Kuybyshev Oblast, in the Soviet Union. From an early age, he displayed a sensitivity and curiosity that set him apart. While other children played in the streets or followed traditional paths, Vladimir was drawn to stories, to characters, to the human drama that unfolded around him. Even as a boy, he would perform small sketches for his family and neighbors, unconsciously preparing for a career that would one day leave a lasting mark on Russian theater and cinema. In pursuit of his passion, Simonov moved to Moscow, where he was accepted into the prestigious Boris Shchukin Theater Institute, studying under the guidance of the legendary Alla Kazanskaya. It was here that he honed not only his craft but his philosophy of acting. He learned that performance was not merely about emotion but about truth, about revealing the inner life of a character with authenticity. Upon graduating in 1980, he joined the Vakhtangov theater troupe, quickly gaining attention for his commanding stage presence and nuanced interpretations. Throughout the 1980s, Simonov navigated a complex artistic landscape. The Soviet Union was a nation in transition, and its theaters were both a refuge and a stage for subtle social commentary. Simonov took on roles that challenged him intellectually and emotionally, from classic Russian plays to contemporary works. In 1983, he briefly joined the Moscow Art Theater, gaining invaluable experience before returning to the Vakhtangov Theater, where he would spend decades perfecting his craft. His work on stage earned him the title of People's Artist of the Russian Federation in 2001, one of the highest honors in Russian performing arts. Vladimir Simonov's career extended beyond the stage to film and television, where he appeared in over 100 projects. His portrayals ranged from historical figures to complex fictional characters, demonstrating a remarkable versatility. He brought life to roles such as Mikhail Kutuzov in Rzhevsky vs. Napoleon, 2012, and countless others, creating characters that were layered, human, and unforgettable. Colleagues often remarked that Simonov possessed an uncanny ability to inhabit his roles fully, giving performances that were both natural and deeply moving. Yet his life as an actor was not without its challenges. Long hours, grueling rehearsals, and the constant demand for reinvention tested both body and spirit. Still, Simonov approached his craft with discipline and humility. He believed that theater and cinema were not merely professions but responsibilities. To the audience, to fellow actors, and to the cultural heritage of Russia, he was known for his meticulous preparation, often spending weeks studying the nuances of a character before stepping onto the stage or in front of a camera. Beyond his performances, Simonov left a profound mark through mentorship and teaching. He guided younger actors, offering advice, encouragement, and a model of professionalism. Many emerging talents credited him with shaping their careers, noting his patience, generosity, and unwavering commitment to excellence. Even outside rehearsals and film sets, he championed the arts, participating in cultural discussions, workshops, and community initiatives that promoted theater as a vital part of society. Simonov's personal life reflected the same dedication and integrity that defined his professional one. Friends and colleagues described him as kind, approachable, and deeply empathetic. He valued human connection, often taking time to listen, to advise, and to support those around him. His warmth and humility endeared him not only to audiences, but to everyone who had the privilege of knowing him. On November 8, 2025, Vladimir Simonov passed away at the age of 68. His death was met with an outpouring of grief from the theater and film communities, as well as from fans across Russia and beyond. Tributes highlighted not only his extraordinary talent but also his humanity. The grace with which he approached both life and art. NewsMinimalist.com. Simonov's legacy is multifaceted. It lies in the unforgettable characters he created, the generations of actors he mentored, and the audiences he touched. His life reminds us that art is more than performance. It is a reflection of the human spirit, a bridge between people, and a means of exploring the deepest truths of existence. His story also serves as a testament to perseverance, discipline, and the enduring power of passion. In remembering Vladimir Simonov, we honor a life dedicated to the pursuit of excellence, the cultivation of empathy, and the celebration of culture. His journey from a small city in Russia to the stages of Moscow and screens across the country is an enduring inspiration. He showed that true artistry is not measured by fame alone, but by the ability to touch lives, to challenge minds, and to leave the world a richer place than one found it. Vladimir Simonov will be remembered not just as an actor, but as a pillar of Russian theater and film, a man whose presence, both on and off the stage, radiated dedication, integrity, and humanity. Giuseppe Vessicchio was an Italian composer, conductor, arranger, and a towering figure in the world of Italian music. Born on April 16, 1956, in Naples, Italy, Vessicchio grew up surrounded by the rhythms and melodies of his city. Music was more than a pastime. It was a calling that would guide him through a career spanning decades. From a young age, he showed remarkable aptitude for music. He studied composition and orchestration, mastering both the technical and emotional aspects of his craft. By the late 1970s, Vessicchio had begun collaborating with prominent Italian artists, and his skill as a conductor and arranger quickly became highly sought after. He became particularly well known for his work at the Sanremo Music Festival, Italy's most prestigious song competition, where he served as a conductor, musical director, and arranger for numerous entries. Vessicchio's talent was evident, not only in his technical precision, but in his ability to bring out the emotional depth of every performance. Artists he worked with often credited him with elevating their music, adding layers of nuance that made each song resonate with audiences. Beyond Sanremo, Vessicchio composed and arranged for television, theater, and countless recording projects, leaving an indelible mark on Italian popular music. His collaborations spanned genres and generations, demonstrating a versatility that few musicians achieve. He was also known for his mentorship, guiding younger musicians and sharing his expertise with the next generation of Italian artists. Vessicchio's career was not just about music. It was about connecting people through sound. He believed that music could capture the essence of life, convey unspoken emotions, and create shared experiences across audiences. His meticulous attention to detail, combined with a deep understanding of human emotion, allowed him to craft performances that lingered in memory long after the last note faded. On November 8, 2025, Giuseppe Vessicchio passed away, leaving behind a legacy of harmony, creativity, and cultural enrichment. His contributions to Italian music continued to inspire musicians and audiences alike, and his work remains a testament to the power of music to shape hearts and lives. Vessicchio's life reminds us that true artistry is not just about talent, but about dedication, empathy, and the desire to touch others through your craft. In every melody he conducted, every arrangement he crafted, and every performance he elevated, his presence endures. Quentin Willson was a British television presenter, motoring journalist, author, and advocate whose work profoundly shaped the way people experienced cars and the automotive world. Born on September 23, 1957, in London, England, Wilson's fascination with automobiles began in childhood. He was captivated not only by the engineering and design of cars, but by the stories they told, how they connected people, shaped lives, and reflected the era in which they were made. He began his career in journalism, quickly making a name for himself with articles that were insightful, informative, and accessible. Unlike many technical writers, Willson focused on the human side of motoring. His reviews and stories examined not just horsepower or handling, but the experiences and emotions cars brought to everyday life. Readers appreciated his clarity, wit, and genuine passion. Willson rose to international fame as one of the original presenters of the BBC's Top Gear in the 1990s, in an era when motoring shows were often dry or overly technical. Willson brought energy, humor, and a personal touch. He had a rare ability to make viewers feel like they were alongside him on every test drive, from exploring vintage classics to evaluating the latest automotive innovations. He had a talent for storytelling. Each car had a personality, a history, and a role in the broader culture, and Willson was the perfect guide. Beyond television, Quentin authored numerous books on motoring, ranging from guides for car buyers to explorations of classic cars and automotive history. He became a trusted voice for consumers, advocating for transparency, safety, and fairness in the industry. Many buyers relied on his insights to make informed decisions, and his work contributed to a more knowledgeable and empowered public. Willson was also deeply involved in charitable work and public engagement. He supported campaigns promoting road safety, responsible driving, and environmental awareness in motoring. He believed that enthusiasm for cars carried responsibility, and he used his platform to encourage ethical and safe practices on the roads. Colleagues remembered him as approachable, generous with his expertise, and endlessly curious about the ever-evolving world of automobiles. Even after leaving Top Gear, Willson remained a fixture in motoring media, contributing to documentaries, guest appearances, and public talks. He inspired generations of automotive enthusiasts, writers, and presenters to combine knowledge with storytelling, to approach their craft with curiosity and integrity. On November 8, 2025, Quentin Willson passed away, leaving a legacy that went far beyond cars. He taught audiences to see vehicles as more than machines, as reflections of culture, history, and human creativity. He inspired people to pursue their passions, to appreciate design and innovation, and to engage with the world around them with curiosity and care. Pavel Fedorovich Nikonov was a Russian painter and one of the key figures in the artistic movement known as the Severe style. Born on May 30, 1930, in Moscow, he grew up in a country still recovering from war, surrounded by stories of hardship, sacrifice, and resilience. These early impressions would later shape not only his worldview, but also the emotional depth of his art. From a young age, Nikonov showed an unusual sensitivity to light, form, and human expression. He was accepted into the Surikov Moscow State Art Institute, one of the most prestigious art academies in the Soviet Union, while other students focused on idealized depictions of workers and leaders. Nikonov was drawn to real people, farmers, factory workers, fishermen, individuals whose lives were often overlooked. His early works rejected propaganda-style optimism. Instead, Nikonov painted quiet moments of struggle and dignity. His art captured the truth of Soviet life, not heroic perfection, but genuine humanity. This approach later defined the Severe style, a movement that merged realism with emotional restraint and sincerity. Nikonov wasn't afraid to show tired eyes, worn hands, or a harsh landscape. He believed that honesty was more powerful than artificial glory. His painting Geologist, 1962, became one of the most iconic works of the era. Instead of portraying explorers as triumphant heroes, Nikonov painted them as real people, cold, exhausted, yet determined. The canvas shocked officials, who accused him of distorting reality. But to many artists and viewers, it was a revelation. Nikonov had shown that authenticity could be revolutionary. Throughout the decades, Nikonov continued painting, teaching, and shaping generations of young artists. He became a professor and mentor, known for his calm voice and piercing honesty. Students often recalled that he never tried to force anyone into a style or philosophy. Instead, he encouraged them to search for truth, to paint what they felt, not what others wanted to see. Despite his success, Nikonov remained modest. He avoided fame and worked quietly, spending hours alone in his studio. He believed that art was not about recognition, but about witnessing life. In his later years, Nikonov received numerous awards, including the title of Honored Artist of the Russian Federation. His works entered major museums and private collections. Yet, even with admiration from the artistic world, he always returned to the same subjects: ordinary people, simple landscapes, silent stories. On November 8, 2025, Pavel Nikonov passed away at the age of 95. With his death, Russia lost not only an artist, but a man who spent his entire life searching for honesty on canvas. He left behind paintings that speak quietly, but powerfully, about what it means to live, endure, work, and hope. Jean-Claude Guillebaud was a French journalist, essayist, and publisher whose life was defined by one constant mission: to understand the world and help others understand it too. Born on May 21, 1944, in Algiers during the final years of French Algeria, he grew up surrounded by cultural intersection, political tension, and the complexities of identity. Those early impressions sparked a deep curiosity that would lead him into some of the most turbulent places of the 20th century. He began his career as a journalist in the late 1960s, working for major French newspapers including Sud-Ouest, Le Monde, and later Le Nouvel Observateur. Unlike many reporters who preferred offices and safe distance, Guillebaud believed that real journalism required presence: to see, to listen, to witness. He traveled to war zones, conflict regions, and unstable political landscapes: Vietnam, Lebanon, Rwanda, Cambodia, Israel, South Africa. He wanted to understand not only history, but the human beings inside it. Every story he wrote carried empathy. He wasn't interested in judgment. He wanted truth. As a war correspondent, he saw both the cruelty and the courage of humanity. These experiences shaped his worldview and eventually pushed him toward reflection and writing. Guillebaud began producing essays about ethics, globalism, faith, and the future of society. His books were not only widely read, they influenced intellectual conversation in France. Titles such as The Tyranny of Pleasure and The Trouble with the World questioned consumerism, loneliness, and the moral exhaustion of modern society. He believed that technology changes, governments fall, and ideologies shift. But humans remain driven by the same need: meaning. Later, Guillebaud became a publisher at Éditions du Seuil, where he supported and promoted voices that might otherwise have been ignored. He guided young authors, encouraged bold ideas, and fought for intellectual honesty in a world increasingly dominated by speed and noise. Throughout his life, people described him as a man who had seen too much to be naive, but believed too deeply to be cynical. He challenged pessimism. He defended hope. In his later years, Guillebaud focused on spiritual and philosophical reflections, exploring how humans can remain compassionate in a world that often rewards indifference. Even after decades of reporting from dangerous places, what stayed with him were not images of destruction, but moments of generosity and resilience he witnessed among ordinary people. Jean-Claude Guillebaud passed away on November 8, 2025, leaving behind books, articles, and interviews that continue to inspire readers to think deeper and feel more. His legacy lives not in headlines, but in minds he helped open.
Mais j'ironise un peu contre ces gens qui n'osent plus, dans mon petit milieu d'intello de Saint-Germain-des-Prés, qui n'osent plus dire qu'ils sont chrétiens ou catholiques ou croyants. C'était encore très vrai, ça l'est un peu moins maintenant, comme j'ironise.
He taught that the world is not something to watch from afar. It is something to engage with, reflect upon, and care for. Through his reporting, essays, and mentorship, Jean-Claude Guillebaud left an enduring imprint on journalism, literature, and society. His life reminds us that every story matters, that every perspective is worth listening to, and that one person's dedication to truth and understanding can leave a lasting mark on the world. Jean-Claude Guillebaud's work will continue to inspire future generations to see, question, and care. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to our channel. Many more stories await.